Thank you very much, Kat. Good afternoon. Wage negotiations between the unions and Eskom are continuing. The power utility gave feedback from unions on its new offer of 4.7%. The power utility initially offered a 0% increase to its workers. Now, for more on this story, we cross live to our reporter Mbongeni Muthwa, who's standing by in Woodmead, just outside where the negotiations are being held. Mbongeni, good afternoon. And what is the latest concerning these negotiations? I mean, earlier Eskom had nothing to give. Now they're talking of 4.7% offer. How are the unions responding to this latest offer?
Well, we don't know yet. That's exactly what we understand they are busy doing right now inside, responding formally to the offer that was tabled by Eskom management yesterday. They went in just after lunch, just around 2 o'clock, and they've been going on. Actually, if you walk around the building, you can see inside through the glass windows. And at some point, as I was walking past, I saw Ivan Jim standing in front there, doing like a slide presentation. So clearly he was now presenting the response. We're hoping that as soon as they break, or maybe at the end of the session, we will get to be briefed by the parties, especially the unions, on exactly what their formal response to the offer is. It is important to point out that, of course, the negotiations don't just focus on the percentage increase or like the wage increase only. It's a wholesome process. There's all issues that workers have, their demands that they have to the employer. That's where they get tabled and discussed with the employer as part of the wage negotiations. So you've got your housing allowance issues in there. The unions are demanding that the housing allowance, for instance, be hiked from 3,000 rands currently to 7,000 rands a month. There are other issues which are Eskom-wide, employment service kind of issues. They vary. There's quite a lot of them. Some of them, there's even plant issues. Eskom has got a lot of what you can call plants around the country, the power stations and so on and so on and so on. And there's people working there. So there are worker issues at plant level that may be common among several plants, but maybe not all of them, whatever. So if that is the case, that is the opportunity now for those issues to be tabled and discussed here as well. So it's a wholesome process, but of course the headline issue is the wage, the percentage increase, Colin.
Well, Mbongeni, the unions were saying the employer is negotiating in bad faith and being arrogant, as I heard one of the chief negotiators saying when they came to our studio here. Is it still the same case as claimed by the unions, that the mood around the negotiation table is very belligerent? Such is common, it's normal, especially around wage negotiations. In the lead up to wage negotiations and during wage negotiations, tempers fly, they run high sometimes. Words are said, sharp words sometimes, especially by the unions towards the employers. It's normal. There's nothing untoward about that, or really, we can't make too much about that. Of course, you are right. We have seen and heard such utterances from the union side in the days leading up to this particular round, this process. And yesterday, those feelings were still there. We could see them. With the unions at the onset, not wanting to continue or proceed talking to the delegation, the standard delegation that has always been there across the table, saying that board members and the CEO himself need to come here now
they want to negotiate directly with them and so on. So that seems to have blown over. No board members are here, no CEO of Eskom is here, and the mood today is really calm, it's beautiful, the spirit is good. They said so themselves. We spoke to the chief negotiator from the NUM. She said that herself, that now they have now gotten into the negotiations. They are now in the negotiations. So all those those utterances, that they're not there today. Today, everyone is focused on the business at hand, which is negotiating as unions with the employer about their demands that are on the table.
Right, Mbongeni, we have run out of time. If I happen to speak to you in the next hour, we will be focusing on how the movement from 0% to 4.7% came about. But of course, you will elaborate on that in a later crossing. Mbongeni Muthwa coming to us live from Woodmead outside the negotiations between the unions as well as the power utility, Eskom. We will update you on that story later on. And of course, we're going to have to end it there. I'm crossing back to Keshni, who continues with the program. I'll be back with the latest from the markets later on.